one of our big sticking points. Nobody knows how to get rid of the batteries. They don't have them up to a standard yet where we can reuse them over and over again. And there's a lot of waste. We're worried about that.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
989 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Jacob, this is Brandy Booth. How you doing?
Brandy Booth. I'm glad
Yeah.
you called in. I saw you in the chat. Glad you were able to make it and watch us live, folks. Brandy Booth is, and I meant to bring your books and give a copy to everybody.
That's not really why I'm calling today. We can do that at some other time. I'm producing a little video that I'll send you guys, and we can mention it now. But I just wanted to say that the way that you guys are going about your information, I appreciate it. I learn a lot. I've been in the union here in Bay City and Saginaw for 30 years. I worked as a production employee. I've worked in skilled trades as a millwright welder. And I was in the union as a committee man, contract negotiator for Saginaw Steering Gear for almost 10 years, which ultimately got sold to the Chinese government. And so we've been through a lot up here. I'm currently at Bay City Powertrain up there, General Motors, just waiting to see. We haven't been called out to strike yet, but we walked for 40 days in 2019. We're ready to do it again. But I wanted to point out one thing about the General Motors situation and, just the way that the government loans worked back then. I was a big, that's pretty much when I was in the union, when all that bankruptcy happened and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I watched us, they took those loans, and the American people really don't realize that there was like $12.5 billion from those loans that was like written off as legacy costs. And it was, other things. They said, well, you didn't keep the stock long enough for us to, for it to mature. So the American taxpayer took a $12.5 billion loss on those loans. But when you think about it, when have you ever taken, as an American taxpayer, when have you ever taken a loan out where you didn't have to pay the whole thing back, principal plus the interest? So, a lot of these people, when you look at it, they're saying, well, these corporations are doing well and everything. But if you look at the way that the standard of living, not only for union people, but for everybody in the area, the standard of living's gone down over the last decade. At the same time, with corporate profits have soared, not only in the auto industry, but all across the board, corporate America, like Amazon, different things like that. These profits continue to soar. And although we're really proud to be a part of creating profits like that, it's kind of sad that, because they have made all those profits, not much of that money has made it back into the American economy. You know what I mean? But when you get auto worker wages that are better and, those support local economic jobs. Like when COVID came around, we were patronizing our local businesses because those people were fighting to stay alive.
Yep.
And we were totally supporting them. And that's why when we went out in 2019, they supported us. We supported them during the pandemic, and now they're really coming. Despite what you see on some of the news, these people are really coming around the UAW, and they realize where that money is going, and they realize when the money comes back into our economy that's the. But so anyhow, I just wanted to share that little perspective as far as we kind of feel like even if they put money in the infrastructure, if they want to go to electric cars, come to us and show us as part of this how we can, the UAW can help them make our infrastructure better. You know what I mean? Let's put the money back into America that comes out of America. That's our whole point pretty much behind it. So
yeah. Absolutely. I actually had somebody just yesterday, talking to me and asking, does the UAW, are they anti-electric vehicles or whatever? That's what I'm hearing on the news. I hear that the UAW, they hate electric vehicles. And it's like, no, they don't. They hate that electric vehicles are being used to create a race to the bottom.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Yeah, I've got a different kind of opinion on that because I worked the last decade or more in an internal engine components plant. We make camshafts, we make, and that our feeling in our plant, like that's going to completely wipe us out. There will be no more powertrain units. And, so we need a transition. And so there is, and, when you look at it, they haven't proven the efficiency, on them. And one of our big sticking points, because, Michigan and between Michigan and Canada, they fight over landfills and garbage quite a bit and stuff like that. Nobody knows how to get rid of the batteries. They don't have them up to a standard yet where we can reuse them over and over again. And there's a lot of waste. We're worried about that. So, there's a lot of concerns, like the infrastructure is a main one. We have rolling blackouts in this country. Sometimes they can't produce enough to keep people's air conditioning running. So, but we're an internal engine plant, so you got to expect us almost to take that kind of stance.
For sure.
That's our product. I make camshafts and connecting rods and things of that nature, and I'm proud of it. We make good ones.
Yep. But most important thing is that whatever work y'all do or people end up doing is that y'all are taken care of. And it's good to see. It's good to see some movement from GM specifically. They were the ones that folded the battery plants into the national agreement.
Yeah.
So,
yep, exactly. We're making progress, and I think President Fain's doing a good job. There were a lot of people that were kind of nervous to see a guy with, who some considered a little bit radical, but I think he's doing a good job. So,
yeah,
and I was involved when I got up to a certain point. I was sergeant at arms on the International Skilled Trade Subcouncil, and I looked around and I decided that job wasn't for me, just for a lot of reasons. So there was a lot of stress. There was at that level, there was a lot of stress. So now you see what I'm doing. I'm just writing books of funny stories of people. Do you mind if I mention that? Because I'm going to give it away for free on Kindle.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to mention. I wanted to mention that, so I'll let you take it away.
So when I transferred from that plant that got sold to the Chinese. I transferred back to a General Motors plant. They call it a flowback. And my first day in there, we're walking around, and this old man. We were walking in our little group of people, men and women. I think there's about 8 or 9 of us. And we're walking around, and this old man pops out from behind this machine that says, "Excuse me, sir, did you get one of these yet today?" And he flipped me off. And before I could say anything to the guy, he turned to the lady next to me and he goes, "How about you, ma'am? Did you get one of these yet today?" And he flipped her off too, And some people might be offended by that, but I knew that was that guy's way of saying, "Hey, I got some stories to tell. Come on back," So over like the next 3 years, I came back and I would tell him stories from the old steering gear plant. He would tell me stories that happened right where we were at in Bay City there. And then we lost him to cancer. So I started thinking about all those people that I've worked with through the years that, repetitive jobs, they play little tricks on you and stuff like that. So it's just kind of funny that, the things that they can do. And it was a really fun book to write. There's a chapter in there called Messing with the Boss. There's one called Overboard Paybacks where, workers will get going back and forth at each other, and then somebody comes way over the top, and those moments, you tend to remember them, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, it's just a little fun book of 60 stories. There's no bashing anybody at any kind, no union bashing, no company bashing, no, even the boss that's got the job of giving me something to do every day. I don't bash them either. It's just people do funny things. And if you're paying attention and you write some of that stuff down, then so the book's called "Did You Get One of These Yet Today?" And Amazon allows me to give it away for 5 days over a 90-day period. So for the next 5 Fridays, because that's when they've been doing the typical UAW updates, for the next 5 Fridays, I'm going to give it away for free on Amazon Kindle. So, or you can go to Amazon and order it under the name "Did You Get One of These Yet Today?" But I hope you guys like them.
All right. I'm looking forward to reading it. Appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for the books.
Yep. Take her easy, Jacob. Bye.
All right.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Looking forward to checking out the book. My father-in-law is a UAW retiree, and he always has great stories about the pranks that they used to pull on each other at the plant. You know, like you said, repetitive jobs, people get bored. You know, and, you know, guys especially, like, we never fully grow up. And so,
Right?
you know, we're kind of got that high school prankster mentality a lot of times, even regardless of how old we are. So, yeah, I can't wait to look into it and share it with my father-in-law as well.
Yep.
Awesome. I appreciate it. I gave you guys a couple extra copies just because I thought that maybe you would know that. And to be honest, you spend a lot more time with your coworkers actually than you spend with your family a lot of times. You know, working 12-hour days, that's your family, you know, and that's what the book's all about. It's this union family having fun.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Appreciate you, man.
it.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.